Bonjour à tous, merci d'être là. Je vais faire l'introduction en français et laisser ensuite la parole à Patricia qui va vous faire une présentation en anglais. Patricia nous vient du Brésil, donc elle travaille pour Nestlé. Pour ceux qui ont été dans la plénière juste avant, vous avez eu un petit aperçu du travail qu'on a fait avec Nestlé depuis à peine un an. Elle va aller beaucoup plus en profondeur aujourd'hui. La présentation dure à peu près 20-25 minutes et on aura une session de questions-réponses juste après. Voilà. Patricia, again, thank you very much for being here. The floor is yours. I'm here to support in any case, but so presentation and then we will have the question and answers.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. First, thank you all for the time you were here. Today I'm going to present a little bit more in details from what you saw in the previous presentation here. And it's a very important project for me because it has changed a lot of things in Nestlé. So I am Patricia Krichman. I am head of data engineering, governance, and architecture in Nestlé. And I bought this just to introduce you. So when we take a look about the amount of data that we are working nowadays, it's like this is every 1 minute of a day regarding all the data that we can produce in 1 minute. And if you take a look here, we are talking about like 6 million people are shopping online while I am introducing the subject for you. So this is how we decided inside of Nestlé to create an area just to talk about data. So we created the data lab inside of digital transformation, that it's the area that we are working with all the data in Brazil. So just a little bit about our journey. So Data Lab were created in end of 2018. And then we start to talk about foundation, to talk about how we should internalize our data, how we should work with our cloud. And then it was a huge success. So we started to increase the partners, grow the amount of people that were working inside of the company. So we internalized our tech people in 2020. So this is how I started to work at Nestlé as well. I went there to be able to form a team that could work with data and could achieve things like the greatest projects we had there. And then we have the pandemics in 2020. And as I was telling before, like our consumer habits has changed a lot. So we had this very important point of change. And the digital sales passed from to be very important to us, to be fundamental to our business. And then in 2021, our local CDP, it was not exactly a CDP, it was more like the partner that used to manage our data decided to leave Nestlé, and we have like 90 days to rebuild everything. To start from scratch, we had just a few documentation. It was very complicated by the time, and we had a very huge challenge ahead. So the challenge, it was to understand, engage, and build this loyalty with our 42 million have buyers. And we had that scenario that our consumer management decided to leave us. So we had to rethink our strategy. And besides that, we had a lot of pressure and objectives here. So we needed to work better with acquisition because, you know, we have more than 14 million people, more than 14 million unique registers at our database, but we are talking about 42 million have buyers, so we have a lot of opportunities. How can we bring more people to inside of our database? So this is the first challenge we have here. The second one is that our consumer bases are changing. So, for example, we work with Purina. So someone that didn't have a pet now have a pet. How can I update this data with the frequency that we need? This is the challenge number 2. And 3, we are talking a little bit about the engagement. So as I said before, we cannot have like 14 million people, but not have those people engaged. So we really need help. We really needed to update our strategy to be able to engage those people. And also, we had a privacy and security challenge. So we have LGPD coming stronger in Brazil in 2021. That it's the same as GDPR. So we had to understand how we could be very compliant with the rules. And also, we have a very important objective to work with data democratization. So we are a huge company, and we have so many people that can do different things with our data. So how could we democratize this data? So those are one of our main challenges, and this is how we decided that we need a consumer data platform that could help us to achieve what we needed and take the maximum value we could from our consumer data. And this is how treasure data became part of our history. So once we decided to bring treasure data to Nestlé, we had that challenge, like, okay, now we decided to, now we know what we need to do, but we have 90 days to do it. So imagine this is possible, because in the beginning, I didn't have sure that this could be possible. But with this team, we could do it. We implemented in 92 days. We have like 6 people from Nestlé. We have a few people from our partner, that it's Artifact, our implementation partner. And we also had the help from the guys from Treasure Data. So from the setup implementation that it started in November to the go live of the first pilot, we could implemented the CDP in 92 days. So it was a huge achievement, and I am very proud of the team because we did it, right? Regarding this, so in 92 days, we were talking about connect and unify our databases. So we had like more than 30 data sources by the time to put inside of our environment. And this is regarding just the pilot, because now we have 60. And we had to work a little bit with the segments and the enrichments. So I will explain a little bit later why we are saying 10.4 million unique registrations, because we found out that our previous algorithm for the duplication, it was not working properly. So this is part of what a CDP could help us to find out as well. And then activate our data. So I bring here a little bit about what we can have as value, as much as for Nestlé, as much for inside of the company, and what we can deliver to our consumer as well. So first one, we choose the use case regarding increasing reach. So we needed to get to more people, because if I have like 10 million or 14 million people in our database, but I am not able to reach those people, so I need to do something to make it change. And then we needed to work with the efficiency, because if we can reach the people, but if we cannot make those people be engaged to what we are doing, we are probably we are not getting to where we want to be. And also, we need to save time. When I say that I need to democratize data, our business users, they don't have patience. They want to do things in 3, 4, 5 clicks. So we need a platform that can help us to do it, and to do it, it needs to be easy for the people. Also, we have the part that we are saying that we are helping the consumer as well, because Nestlé has a lot of brands. So we sell chocolate, we sell Purina, we sell coffee. So imagine how boring it is if you are in the database and you are receiving the communication from our brands, like all the brands. This is not very nice. So we need to avoid the cannibalization. So sometimes we are sending too much campaigns, and you are receiving, like, we have 2 types of chocolate, for example, Alpino and Kit Kat. It's one of the brands that we have. So you don't want to receive a campaign from both of those brands. So this is very important too. And have this omni-channel communication, so we can centralize the information and we can avoid this cannibalization. And we want to get into the proactive relationship. So we want people to come to Nestlé and not just us being like sending the campaign. So this is the best scenarios that we have. So the first use case, it was the one that we could get like maximum value. So we are very proud of this. We made from 64.8 thousand people that we were reaching to 9.4 million. So it's 100 times more. More than 100 times more, actually. And it was a great achievement that we have. It was our first implementation. It was our pilot. And this helped us a lot to have the stakeholder engagement we needed to keep doing the use case. The second one, it was regarding the engagement score. So once we are able to reach people, we need to have those people engaged. So we first started with a segmentation of 5 types of segmentation. And after we made a few adjustments, we just got to 3. It was low, medium, and high. And this is very interesting because we could do all inside of Treasure Data because they had the connectors and the intelligence to this. So we just needed to define the rules that we needed to make it possible. So, and here we had a very nice performance. Like we could reach like 140% more. So it was a very great achievement that we had as well. And I think I wanted to share some other achievements that it's not exactly related to the use cases, but it's very important for us. So I said that we have more than 14 million unique registers, but when we took all this data and put inside of Nestlé and then we sent to Treasure Data, we find out that actually we had 10.4 million unique registers. And this happened because we didn't have a good algorithm to deduplicate the data. And this could bring us a lot of problems because sometimes we are talking with the same person more than one time, sending the same campaign. So this is a huge problem. The next one is like, okay, now I have 10.4, but I had a target inside of the company. Our president was saying, no, but I need more people inside. And you were saying that you were 14 and now you have 10. Come on. What are you doing? So it was a very stressed moment. But as with the new tool, it was easier to acquire new data for us. So our target, it was 12.3 million after we explained what was happening, the duplication process and etc. And now we are in October and we already have, again, 14.7 million. And this, now it's 14.7 million for real. So this is very important because we could achieve the targets very earlier this time. And the last one is regarding the business users. So I said that it's very important. Everyone is talking about democratization. Data democratization is something that we really need to take care of because we can achieve so great things when we are giving autonomy to business users. But if the tool is too complicated to use, they are not going to use that. And here we have a little bit about our achievements. So before the implementation, we have 5 business users, and now we have more than 50 business users. And also we have 6 different areas that are using the CDP, and it's growing. We are training more people, so this has been very, very interesting. We have people really are using. The data is really democratized, so we are very happy with this. And I think one thing that it's very important to share with you is that how could you do that? What it's so different from your implementation? I think you have to define your strategy. So your strategy needs to be very aligned with the business objectives. So we have some business units that are using, so they are different business units, and you need to choose the correct use case to each business users, business units. So for example, chocolatory, it's in a different moment that our division from health science and all the other divisions. So they have different needs, and we need to be aligned with these business objectives. So choosing the correct use cases and guarantee that you are evolving the tool progressively and have a good roadmap to that, it's very important. And the second thing is having a good data infrastructure, because our data is the most important thing that we have. It's what can help us to achieve what we need. So I think it's very important to guarantee that we can implement a CDP in a so short time. So having the correct partner for implementation, it's very important as well, because they have passed through this 100 times, and I particular never had implemented a CDP before. So I was thinking, if this is possible, it's possible to rebuild like a 10 years operation in 90 days. So if you have the correct strategy, if you have the correct implementation partner, you really can achieve that, but you need to have everything very aligned with our business units, with our stakeholders. So this is the biggest tip I can give to you guys. So it's to really define the route, the strategy, choose an implementation partner, and I think it's totally possible to get results as ours. So it was that. I am Patricia Kritschmann. If you have any other doubts, you can add me in LinkedIn and we can talk. And now I can open to the questions, so we can chat a little bit and you can ask what you need to know.
Do we have any question from the audience?
I have one, but I'm from Church Data. So. You call it consumer data platform. Are you going to call it customer data platform? Do you have any plans for future?
Yes, we have. We are going to implement this in the next year. So we have a lot of use cases for this year. After the first implementation, the first pilot, everyone wanted to be part of this. So we have like a line of use cases to implement. We already started a little bit before than what was planned, but I think we will be able to release just next year.
said you've changed basically most of it in 90 days. What for you as a head of data engineering was the biggest challenge, like the biggest feat you had to face during those 90 days?
You need to repeat the question.
Yeah. I need to repeat for the webcast, sorry, for the podcast.
Oh, okay, sorry. Should I repeat?
No, so you're asking basically what's your...
What was the biggest challenge during the 90 days of that transition you had?
So what was the biggest challenge for your transition to CDP?
I think the biggest challenge was we needed to internalize everything that were in that partner, and we had no documentation. So our business rules were lost in somewhere, and we needed to rebuild everything from scratch. Like every rule that someone was working in the past 10 years, we needed to rebuild. So it was a huge challenge for our data engineers. We had some nights to make it work.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. So I was wondering, you talk about the number of business users who are using it. So how do you make that adoption work, and how you monitor and increase the adoption of your teams to use them?
So the question is about adoption of business users to this data platform.
So we have a very heavy change management plan. So the first one was regarding the trainings. We tried to make it as fun as it was possible. People have certificates, so they participate. They have a badge, like I did the training. So we do these trainings frequently, not just in the implementation, because this happens a lot. You know, we put a new platform to run, and then we forget about this and go to the next one. But the change management needs to continue, you know. So I think this is changing a lot. And I think after people saw the results of the use case, they started to say, I want to know how it works. Can I have a training as well? So it's spreading the word. And I think also you need to choose carefully your stakeholders, because those are the people that can change things for us. Like if you have a strong stakeholder that it's very engaged, you can achieve the data democratization. Besides that, people will use Excel files and things like that. And I think when we talk about consumer data, this is very complicated, because as I said, we have LGPD getting stronger in Brazil. So we cannot send files with consumer data by email. This is not possible anymore. So now people need to use the CDP. So.
Wonderful. Is there a way you track also the impact on your sales, on the conversion? Because I understand that you are very good at enriching the base and taking care of not duplicating communication, but at the end of the day, we're talking about business. And is there a way you can track also the link between your great platform and the impact on the sales?
So the question is about tracking all those data initiatives and their impact on business.
Okay, so yes, first we have an objective to increase sales with our implementation by 5% this year. So we are almost there, so we are not 5% yet. And I think a very important thing is that we are getting the data from the return of the campaigns, so we can see if the campaign has been more efficient. So we had created a rule to understand if this is converting or not. So, but our objective is 5% of increment, because as you said, needs to have some money involved, right? So, okay.
Another question. I have a question for you. We have some customers in the CPG world that claiming that sometimes they don't have access to the data of the customer. And we always say that the technology is good, but you need also to implement initiatives to collect the data. I've heard that in Brazil you have this recipe website where the people can get access to some recipes. And I think it worked well. And not all the countries in Nestlé is using that. So can you maybe explain a little bit what kind of initiatives you have had to recollect data?
Yes, so we have this initiative of the recipes, and it's a huge success because people can go there and take recipes and understand how to use Nestlé products and etc. We have some initiatives as well for Purina that works with pets and etc. So they are brands for pets. So we are increasing our engagement with those guys too. Also, we have some companies that we can buy the data from in Brazil. I think here is the same, but it's different companies. So we use Cadu, that it's the unique registers in Brazil that we use. And also we have Serasa. So we have a lot of company that we are bringing data to inside of Nestlé. And also we are, we really try to make to increase the experience of the people in the websites, because they started to buy more with us. They need to have some return, right? So we are working a lot to do it.
Yeah. Concerning LGPD, how are you managing whether you can contact a customer from one brand or from multiple brands based on consent?
So the question is about consent management between the brands. How do you deal with that?
Okay, so we have the opt-in for each brand and for the consumer as well, but we treat this separated. We take a look to opt-in of all the brands and understand if we can contact this or not, and it's updated in less than 24 hours, so it guarantees that we are not talking with someone that gave opt-out, for example, because if they opt out, we don't contact our customers.
So we don't have a centralized Nestlé consent?
Actually, we have this column, but we prefer to use separated just to guarantee that we are not going to talk with someone that, I don't know, they had a pet and they don't have anymore. So imagine how frustrating it is to receive a campaign for this. So we needed to guarantee that we are not going to do that.
Yeah, maybe the Nestlé global consent doesn't have value for you because customers are engaging with different brands. So.
Yeah, I think it's all regarding personalization. So we came to a moment that we need to be as much as personalized as we can be. So we cannot treat this, like a global consent, because we need to personalize things to be able to really connect with those people. So we work with coffee, and for example, we have some people that likes one specific type of coffee. So you need to know what type of coffee to offer to these people that drinks coffee but sometimes don't drink tea. And it's the same brand that it's selling everything. So as much as personalized as you can do, I think more successful you will be.
We have time for another question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You've been mentioning the importance of stakeholders. Did you have also like sponsors? And if so, what have been their actions and impacts in the success of the project?
So the question is about sponsors. You had some sponsors, and what did they do to help you implement all those initiatives?
Yeah, so I think first thing, having this sponsor very close to us is important, because to be very honest, the team will not going to do the training unless the sponsor is asking. So I think this is the more direct I can be. It's like you need to have the sponsor to people. First of all, do the trainings. And I think the second one is not trying to take a different route, because people are creative, come on. People find out ways to do things, I don't know, that it's not exactly as we planned. So people start to create dashboards that it's not official. This happens a lot. So if we have a sponsor that says, no, we just are going to use the CDP. You need to train. I will not accept any information that it's not coming from there. So this is the part that I said that it's important to have a strong sponsor.
So who are the sponsors?
Ah,
Yeah. Who were the sponsors?
so we are talking about the brand directors, basically. So brand directors, or the brand directors, the directors to media and CRM. So those are our main sponsors we have.
I have one final question, just out of curiosity. Why did you consider the CDP as the right tool when you had this data company leaving you? Because there is other technologies that do, if you build them together, that could do a CDP. But what came you this time with the CDP concept?
I think we had chosen the CDP and to have a very good platform because we should be working to sell chocolate, to sell coffee. I shouldn't be here like thinking about how can I bring a new feature, how can I develop a new feature inside of the house, because I am not selling a CDP, I am selling chocolate, I am selling coffee. So we chose this tool to be able to focus in what we need to focus, that it's the analysis, that it's selling our products, and not be like so concerned about like LGPD, for example, and etc. Because when you have a platform that can help you and to increase your business and be focusing what you need to focus, so it's much easier to achieve our results.
So CDP as a business tool first and not as a technological tool.
Yes, of course, it's a business tool. It has to be, otherwise we are doing wrong.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Patricia, again, for your time.
Thank you very much.